Hi everyone, this is Ida of Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. If you are not 18 years or older, this video content is not intended for you. I have a project share, guys. I have been very busy with design team work and with swaps that I had committed myself to, and a little bit of Christmas, and I just had a bunch of things going on, ornaments that I was creating, and I was able to meet all my deadlines. The only problem with that, guys, is I overcommitted myself, and I found that I was leaving small details out of my swaps. For example, the tag swap with Scrap the World. I didn't put my information on the swap. I didn't put tags on them, so I don't like that. I like to finish a project and finish it completely, or what is complete to me. And that wasn't complete um, because I overextended myself. And I guess for my New Year's resolution will be that I will not overextend myself. I will just take on one thing at a time, and until when I consider it finished, then it's finished. And I don't want to worry about that. I have another project waiting for me, so I have to hurry up and complete this one because I got this one over here waiting on me. And because of that, I'm not doing my best work on my first project. So I don't like that. So that's what I'm going to do this year, guys. I don't know about y'all, but that's what I'm doing. So after I had completed everything, like I said, I did meet all my deadlines. Um, Today I decided to just play around with a die that I had bought, and it's nothing major. It's just this little peppermint die that I picked up a while back, and I was going to include it in one of my swaps. Not include the die, but make embellishments. But I was just running out of time. All I could do was just meet the requirements, and I usually like to do extra. So anyway, I took it out and I decided to cut it out. And at first, I cut it out of the Christmas sparkle paper, the new one from Prima, and here are the two that I cut out. But I didn't like the way they looked. I just didn't like the way they looked. So I decided not to use those. And I had a bunch of scraps of 120-pound cardstock from my design team work that I was doing for Carnation Crafts, because their standards are really high and they require us to do things, in a way that we're going to represent their company. They want you to represent their company in the best way possible. So they're very concerned about what the customers see. And I think that's awesome. So I had a bunch of scraps, like I said, of 120-pound cardstock. And this is a great way to use up all those little bits and pieces of scraps that you have lying around because I have like a stash to my right, I have a stash to my left. They're not big piles, but I save little things, guys, like stuff like this, because I know I can get a word out of it. I can get a small die out of it, if nothing else, for layering or a small sentiment. So I save all of that. I don't throw it away. But when I do start creating with something small like this die, that's when I dig into that stash. So anyway, this die, you can find it in that place where Nicole Silhouette sells, where they sell Nicole Silhouette's designs. So that's where I got this, and I'm sure you can just type in search or peppermint die or something, and this one will come up. And it comes with the bigger one and the small one. It comes with the 2 circle dies, because I think you can make this into a shaker. And then it also comes with the swirly part, the bigger and the smaller. And these, you can actually layer them up together and cut out a ring like this to create a shaker in the big one. Now, to do a shaker in the small one, you would of course have to find another die in your stash that is smaller than this, or a punch would work to create the shaker layering pieces. Now, I first tried to do it as a shaker with the image inside, but when I would put the swirly part on top, it would cover almost all the image and you couldn't really see it. So I didn't like that. But if you cut it out in white and the swirly part in whatever color you're doing and glue it flat down and then start doing your rings over it and then turn that into a shaker, that will work. And I hadn't thought of that before, but that would work and it would look great as a shaker. And you could, I wouldn't put an image in it, but it would be the swirly part that would be in it. So I think that would look amazing. Another die that I'm using is, or I was using, was this Sizzix die that's got all the Christmas words. And I love any type of word that I can use because my handwriting is horrible and my spelling is even worse. And so I love these types of dies, not with small words like that, but you know what I mean. So I love dies, and I love that it bevels the edges on the words. I just love the way they look. So the first ones that I created was this one and this little teeny tiny one. So this one measures, I'll tell you right now, 2.5 inches across, and this one is 1 inch and 3/4 across. And I use the word sweet on these, and I did layer up the word, so it is pretty thick, and the peppermint part, the circle. So these pieces I cut out in the 120-pound cardstock pieces, that scraps that I had left. The circle pieces I cut out in the Dollar Tree foam board. That's what I like to use to add dimension to my projects. So that's what I cut the circles with. And the word sweet, I cut it out of, again, my gold scraps, foil scraps. I don't throw anything away. And I did cut it out of the foam board, and it cut beautifully. I didn't have any trouble. So after I assembled it, I did add some glass glitter to the edges. And that's all I did to this one, pretty much. I didn't do anything, just start stacking it. And I like the way the word looks on top, but I like to give the recipient, or even if I'm keeping them in my stash, I like to have more options. So I decided against adding any more words to the other ones that I created. So these were the first two that I created, and I think they are beautiful. So there's those. So afterwards, I was thinking, I want them to look like, I want the edges of the peppermint to look like a wrapped candy, like the wrapper on a candy, the way it's twisted. So here is the next ones that I did. I did two, actually, the baby one and the mama. And what I did with this, I just cut a piece of tissue paper and gathered it to make it look ruffled on the edges. Then I layered the foam piece on top and then the swirly part. I added glue to the edges and then dipped them in the glass glitter. And I think these are real pretty. And these I'm going to leave without any words on them, because this is not just Christmas. You could use this for a sweet treat swap, for a birthday. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be just Christmas. So I opted to leave the words out, and I think I like them better like that. But as I was thinking, and guys, when you overcommit yourself, you kind of get blocked. Your mind just, because you have so much on your mind, you can't even come up with ideas of things to do. But this to me was very relaxing because I don't have anybody waiting for me to receive this. So I can just play. And that's what I did this morning. I just played. So as I was creating the tissue ones, and trying to cut them the right length and pleating and all that, I thought, I bet you crepe paper, the paper we use, the streamer to do rosettes, that would look even nicer because it has the pleats already in it. So this one I did with the crepe paper. As you can see, it's got the little fine lines because it is crepe paper. And I think this look is even cleaner. And then I did again, I stacked it up as normal. I added the glass glitter to the edges. And I did have to just trim them off and glue them down the middle because the crepe paper is not long enough for the bigger one. So I had to use 2 pieces to do the ruffles on them. But for the little one, the crepe paper would be wide enough. And what I mean is like this. It would be wide enough that you could just cut a piece off, gather it, pleat it, and glue it down the center, and then do your little foam circle and then the swirly bit on top. But for the big one, you will need 2 pieces because the crepe paper is not wide enough. But I love the way the crepe paper looks, or to me, it looks cleaner than the tissue one, but they're both pretty. They're all pretty, but I just prefer the crepe paper one. Anyway, guys, that's all I had to share with you today. And I just wanted to share this idea in case you need to still create embellishments for a swap, or if you just want to gift somebody some embellishments, because like I said, these don't just have to be Christmas, but if you do them just for Christmas, there's always next year. If they don't have time to use them this year, they can use them next year. And if you don't put any words on them, they can use them any time of the year for a birthday, a sweet treat swap, any type of candy swap. It could be any for anything that you can use these embellishments. I will post the links to the products that I used, if I can find them, in the description box. So just click on more and they will be there. If I can find them, they will be there. Also, guys, if you like what I created, if this gives you ideas and this is your type of thing, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone is having a great day, and God bless. Bye.